Sound check. Good morning. Over 20 million Americans aged 12 or older have used illegal drugs in the past 30 days. Let that sink in. 12 years old. This is due to the ongoing drug epidemic in the US. The war on drugs started with the Nixon and Reagan administrations. Billions of dollars were spent for nothing. Resources were wasted, and there was absolutely no change. I've done lots of research on the war on drugs because it's a very serious matter. I believe that everyone needs to be educated on the situation, especially people like us, because 44% of illicit drug users are between the ages of 18 and 25 years old. I plan to discuss the drug issues in America and offer my solution. Let's take a look. The war on drugs is causing high rates of crime, incarceration, and deaths. People are doing whatever they think is necessary to satisfy their cravings. No one should feel like they need to commit a crime in order to obtain drugs or drug money. The Bureau of Justice reported that 21% of people in state prison or local jails committed a crime for drugs or drug money. They also reported that 64% of state prisoners that are drug dependent and drug abusers are between the ages of 18 and 24 years old. People just like you and me. Inmates that are in prison that were charged for property crimes admitted to being under the influence of drugs when they were arrested. For robbery, 56% admitted. For weapons violations, 55% admitted. For burglary, 55% admitted. For motor vehicle theft, 55% admitted. These numbers are way too high. Unfortunately, people are also sent to prison for non-violent drug-related crimes, like possession. 300,000 people that are incarcerated in state and federal prisons are there for drug law violations. This includes marijuana, a now very legal drug, according to the PEW database. Not only are people going to prison, but they are dying. Overdoses are far too common and are growing rapidly. Approximately 70,000 people died in 2019 because of a drug-related overdose, according to the National Institute of Health. More than 36,000 people died due to illicitly fabricated fentanyl. Fentanyl is like morphine, it's an opiate, but fentanyl is now being produced on the streets, causing more deaths. Overdose deaths due to synthetic opioids was 11 times greater in 2019 than in 2013, according to the CDC. These numbers are abhorrent and need to be reduced. Since we are now aware of the problems that the war on drugs has caused, let's take a look at what can be done. Legalizing drugs would reduce several problems. It would greatly reduce crime rates, it would reduce incarceration rates, and it would create a safer experience for users, less overdoses. Now, how can we make these solutions work? Let's take a look. The solutions can be executed through two steps. One, the government can tax drugs, just like marijuana is now taxed because it is a legal drug. This means that the government will have more money that can be used for different resources and can be allocated to different governmental programs. Two, the government can regulate drug production and use. This means less deaths and a lower crime rate. In 2001, Portugal decided to decriminalize all drugs, and all rates of crime, overdose, and infection greatly decreased. Now, I know that decriminalization and legalization are different, but I think that legalization is much more effective than decriminalization. It can be seen in Switzerland as well, that regulating drug production can reduce deaths. In the 1980s, Switzerland had a heroin epidemic, so they had to find a solution quickly. Supervised drug consumption rooms or clinics were created. This is where people can go administer drugs under supervised care and with clean materials. Switzerland has seen a decrease in drug-related deaths of about 64% in the last 2 decades. Now, there are several arguments against my position. Two include legalization would cause mass drug use. This is incorrect because there is already mass drug use, and that's why there is an epidemic going on. And B, drugs are illegal because they are bad. That's untrue. There are many things that are bad that are legal, like tobacco and alcohol. I would like to say that if you weren't aware before, now you know the dangers that drugs pose when they're abused and when laws are so heavily in place in order to ban them. It is very important that we look at ways to legalize drugs so that users are safer, crime rates decrease, and incarceration rates decrease. The government needs to legalize and regulate in order to protect the lives of those around us and those we love. Thank you.